Deep Dive with David Stendahl, where we trade without ego, no emotion, no greed, and no opinion. Before we begin tonight's video blog, please read over our trading disclaimer and remember to trade smart and accept the reality that trading futures is risky. This presentation does not provide buy-sell recommendations, and our information is strictly provided for educational purposes only. As always, trade at your own risk and analysis. Hey there, it's David Stendahl with tonight's Deep Dive. It is December 18th, 2018, and what we're looking at today is coffee. There's a lot of markets we could be looking at, but because coffee is coming down to a support level, I thought I would spend a little bit of time on it. So the short intermediate are still pointing to the downside, but we're starting to see just a little bit of a basing here, not as definitive on the long-term trend, and so therefore we have a little bit of a mixed bag here when it comes to coffee. The technical rating is also a little bit flat, so that gives me an indication that we're going to probably, hopefully, come into a soft landing given where coffee has been. So if we actually take a look here at coffee on daily bars, you can see this nice trend to the downside, but it's this support level right through here. These are daily bars that we're looking at, and that level is 99 even, basically, and we're at 99.40. So for all intents and purposes, we're getting there. So we had better start to have a little bit of a soft landing. Otherwise, we could really see this market really start to tank. If we take a look at weekly charts here, you can see basically the same thing. Here are weekly charts coming down to a support level, and we're looking at the market at least having gotten into oversold territory when it comes to the weekly charts, and that gives me an inclination that the market's going to base here. But again, if it doesn't, then there really isn't too much that's going to hold us here. I'll just simply show you these targets here. Here's today's close, and you can see that there are some nice resistance levels. This is the support level to the market right through here, basically 99. So we have a strength of 98, and we have two conditions, two separate time frames that are pointing to this 99 level. If we don't stop here, then there's nothing below here. So there's really not too much that's going to hold the market here. So it's either going to hold or it's not. Now our systems are actually short the market. So if we should fall to that 99 level and below, that's not necessarily bad for us. We got a nice open position profit going on here. But I'm just pointing this out that nothing is showing up on the deep dive. There's nothing showing up on the pro alerts, and so if we don't find this little soft landing that I'm referring to here, then we really could see a continuation to the trend with little resistance to the market. So just simply watch your positions here in coffee, solely because of the fact that that support level theoretically could hold. If we come to the longer term trend, just looking at the depth gauge, you can see that we had a nice little spot here where the market had come down, it had based, then we had a little bit of a surge, and we've had a continuation back to the downside. But the overall depth gauge here, based on this blue, you can see that it has had a little bit of a bounce here, and so a little bit of a divergence, if you will, and that also gives me an inclination and the indication that the market actually might base here a little bit further. If we take a look at the seasonal tendencies, and it's not highly accurately following its seasonal tendencies right now. It's not far off, but it certainly is due for a little bit of a bounce. But I think that the real bounce will come here maybe in about a week or so, which would coincide with that soft landing, and in that secondary little sell-off, still at that support level, you can see that the tail end of the year, this on 10-year chart, that the market has a tendency to bounce a little bit, and then there's a follow-through into the remainder of maybe about halfway through January or so. And if we take a look at the 10, the 5, the 10, the 15, they're all pointing to the upside once we get past this little bounce, and then a little bit of a surge here in the first couple of weeks of January. So I'm not saying that long term that things have not based here, but we are looking at the potential to a base here, and then when we get into February, that's probably where we'll see that legitimate base, or latter part of January. But there's a bounce here that is certainly due, and based upon that, I'm just simply watching our short positions here fairly closely. We got a daily, and then we got a couple of intraday systems. The intraday systems will trigger first, I'm sure. But no matter how you look at it, got a nice open position profit. Coffee is a great market to be traded, and we're just coming down to that level where the market theoretically could base here. So I'm just prepping people to actually kind of watch over this and prepare themselves for the opportunity to start taking some profits. So with that, we will take a look at another market tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.